Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 343 TV with yours truly, Justin Beck. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. For those of you that have been here before, welcome back. I already see some names in the chat that I recognize, so let me give you a quick what up. What's up, Pavel? What's up, Simple Sam? What's up, Mystic Moth? What's up, Silent State? What's up, Rashane McBean? Pleasure to have you guys back. What up, William Mind Readers? What up, Nefertiti? We just got people pouring in right now. Beautiful. So this is Electronic Music Essentials, and it is a show that happens every Wednesday at 1 p.m. with me here on 343 TV. And if you have never had the wonderful experience of witnessing 343 TV or being here for our live streams, what this is the online branch of the Music Production School 343 Labs based in Berlin and New York City. And every week what I'm doing is I'm basically just trying to give you guys some insight and some topics into things that I think will help improve your music production skills immediately. And so today what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be mixing a track from scratch. I'm going to show you exactly what my mix process looks like, and the thought process that goes into doing it. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting things that you guys are going to be able to learn from that, and I'm excited to get started with that in a second. But real quick, if you're still here and like, what's going on? What's 343 Labs? What's 343 TV? Well, 343 Labs is a music production school, right? That is based in New York and Berlin, as I mentioned, and we offer classes in everything from Logic and Ableton to mixing and mastering. So I would highly encourage you to jump onto the website, 343labs.com, and have a look at the classes we are offering if you think you're in a place where you're ready to take your production skills to the next level. Anyway, with that being said, also, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You know, we're getting more and more people that are a part of this really amazing community that we're building. And, worst thing that can happen is you don't like it and you hit unsubscribe. So just go ahead and click that. And let's get going. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my project for today. And this is, as you can see, an actual mix project. So this is not a track that like I made that I'm now mixing. This is actually a track that someone else wrote and someone else produced, and now they've sent it to me to mix. And so it's a slightly different process when you do that, right? How you mix as opposed to if you're mixing for yourself. But at the end of the day, I think you're still going to learn a lot from seeing how I go about doing this. So also, what's up, Eric Hall? What's up, Farning? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So very first things first is getting organized, right? Now, when someone sends me a track to mix, right, and to work on, the first thing I have to do is figure out how I want to engage with the project. Time to my students. Like, I cannot stress enough how important it is to be organized in your projects. Like, it's such a waste of time if you are producing and you can't find the sound that is the problem, right? So I have a very simple way that I set up my projects. And if you have been watching me produce on this channel, you may have picked up on this. What I do is I take my drums and I drag them all the way to the top, and then I put my bass, and then I put my instruments, and then my vocal. The reason I do that is because in my mind, that's actually how the track is going to be structured, right? So the drums are literally the foundation of the mix and of the track. And after that, you have the bass, which is going to be the next foundational thing. And then after that, the instruments, and then the vocal, is the thing that is the cherry on top, even though it's the main thing in most records, which it is in the case in this record. And so this is a track by the artist Blonde Standard. And so the first thing I'm just doing is I am breaking apart the stems so that I can actually see what the arrangement looks like on a track-to-track basis. And I'll press play in a second and get you to listen to it. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do after I just do this like really, really simple cutting is I am going to get levels for the track. So let's just go ahead and press play while I'm doing this.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate.
It streams down. Huh. What's going on? Alright, I'll be right back. everybody, welcome back to 343 TV. Thank you for bearing with us, those of you that have stuck around. Was having some like weird back end issues with the stream. It seems like everything is back up and working now, so I'm optimistic that we're going to be fine going forward. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up where I left off, which is going and working on this mix. All right, so also let's make sure there we go, my microphone. Oh no. All right, we're good. So as I was saying, first thing you want to do when you are mixing is to get levels. Now, again, this is a track that is not mine. Right? This is just like a mix project that I'm doing for another artist and another producer. So, like, I want to be able to draw parallels between what I'm going to be doing here and things that you can do on your own for your own tracks that are still going to be helpful. There are approaches to mixing in general that you just kind of, want to be considering even when you're mixing your own stuff. So, one of the first things is that you do not want to start mixing your track before it's done. It's okay to kind of mix as you go. That's totally valid approach, and I do that all the time. But you don't want to be making final decisions early on, right, until you have a full clear picture of what this track sounds like. Which let's now have a listen to.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates, with those big blue eyes of them decide my fate.
Do whenever I have vocals, and this is also just a good idea for your own tracks, is if you track a lot of vocals, which like I do, I have tons of layers for vocals, is I'm just going to take the main vocal and get that balanced before I worry about any of the background stuff. I don't care about the background vocals until I have the main vocal set to a level that I feel is good.
See your face.
So that's really quiet.
So mysterious.
So what I'm gonna do here is just turn up the gain.
With those big blue eyes of them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relief the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on. Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates.
So as you can see, we're like clipping on the master, and you want to avoid that obviously. So the main part of this track, like quite obviously I would say, is the vocal, right? It's kind of like an indie pop track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually balance the track, the record, one sound at a time, starting from the vocal. And this is a great way to go about balancing your mix. In my own work, when it's my own productions and stuff, and you should be doing this for your own productions as well, it's a really smart idea if you're having trouble getting the volume balanced and the levels balanced just literally turn one thing on. And usually if you have a vocal, start from the vocal. If you have the drums, start from the drums, anything like that. In this case, I'm going to start from the vocal because I know that the vocal
and I'm wide awake.
is really as loud as it should be
Time to catch a
for the
break.
overall
You're
volume
so
of the track.
mysterious, just like
So now I'm
Norman
going to go to
Bates.
the bass.
With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
So now let's go to the kick.
You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate.
Now, when I am matching, when I am getting the levels for my kick,
out the door.
I'm not worried about the low end of the kick. I'm only concerned about where the transient sits in the mix. I can completely make the low end bigger or less heavy if I need to. But the transient, where the position of the transient is the most important thing for the perception of the mix in terms of how it hits your ear.
You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5.
Alright, so we
With
got
those
a hi-hat
big blue
here.
eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain,
I'm gonna
relieve
follow
the
fast
strain.
kick,
Walking
fast
out
snare,
the
'cause we go
door,
to
making no
halftime
mistakes.
later on.
Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the
Stop panning hi-hat.
making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. Let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of work for this one.
Relieve the strain, walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
So this is weird. So the first issue I have to contend with is like, I don't actually know why this is happening. Yeah, so I mean, this is just this is also honestly good learning experience for you guys. So if you're planning on sending out stems to a mixer, the very first thing I should tell you is don't send all your drums in one stem. That gives me very little that I can do. Also, especially if you have separate drums in another part of the song, it's going to sound weird because I have to try to get those drums balanced properly against those drums to make them seem like they're the same drums, which they're not. Maybe a little bit louder there. All right, we're almost there in terms of that balance. That's pretty good. Yeah, so now that sounds about the same volume level, so that's good. So right away, I'm going to also be fixing anything that I hear is like a serious problem immediately. So there's a crazy resonant frequency in the synth pad. And also a ton of just crap in the bottom, right? So that's something I can do immediately. I can just cut that stuff out. All right, so I'm going to have to, just because I literally can't even listen to that and continue to balance things if that's happening. I'll turn my mic up a little. A little more tolerable. There's still some low mid. So this is also where just right off the bat, there's a plugin I can use to make my life like a million times easier. Let's just go Runaway. Name of the song. Mixing and mastering work. Boom. Done. Okay. So there's this plugin called Soothe that I'm going to use. And it's from OEK Sound. Or Oak Sound. And what it allows me to do is basically do dynamic reduction, dynamic resonance suppression. That's what it is. It's a dynamic resonance suppressor. So I'm just going to target these frequency ranges that I've pulled out the sound. So basically from 650 to 2200, I'll set it. And what this will allow me to do is only focus on those areas to get rid of some of that really harsh, intense information. And I'm going to turn the sharpness all the way up and the selectivity all the way up so it allows me to only focus on things that are really appropriate. Looks like there might be a little bit of jumpiness up there, but the good news is I can't hear that high, so it doesn't matter to me. All right, so that kind of solves that problem nicely. And so again, as I'm mixing, I'm not like trying to hyper focus on mixing anything, but whenever something pops up, I'm gonna fix it really quickly if I can, which I just did right there. So walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on, let's ride. Now for the chorus, since it seems like the hook is actually probably, oh, you know what, this is the main hook, maybe it looks like. Looks like they've actually labeled them, so that's good to know. This one should be left, this one should be right. As I can see, R and L. All right. And now since the hook, the feeling of the hook, I do need actually to have all the vocals. I will also start including these for balancing. And initially, I'll just do the left one. What I might do is turn off all the solos and only solo these two. So again, this is not just for like mixing, getting levels in someone else's mix. This is also useful for getting levels in your mix. If you have background vocals and you're having a hard time getting them balanced with the main vocal, solo the background vocals and only listen to what's going on there. I wanna run away, I wanna get away. And I can use my stereo output. We're on the road again. and look at the difference in level. So one of the main things I'm going to have to do on both these vocals is compress them. So I know that. So I'm putting that in my head, right? But the thing is that I do not, whatever, I'll just spell it. I do not want to do any compression on anything that needs dynamic control before I tonally treat it. Because once I start applying compression, it's going to increase the tonal issues. So in terms of this whole, question of, oh, should you EQ first or compress first? Well, the real answer is like, do you need to fix the sound first? So I'm always coming at mixing, mastering from the same angle, which is just, do I need to fix what I'm listening to first?
I wanna run away, I wanna get away with you. We're on the road again, and I can see no end with you. In overdrive, I feel like tonight. I wanna run away, in overdrive, I feel like tonight.
So one thing also with mixing versus production, right, is like clearly the producer had a sound stage that he or she that they imagined, right? And I don't necessarily have to respect that. I want to take it into account, right? But the bottom line is that, like, for instance, right here, this line, which I really like. I think that sounds dope. That sounds really cool. I like that a lot. It clashes aggressively with this. In terms of just stereo imaging, like, this is wide. It's majority in the center, but there's still quite a bit of wide information in there. So what I would actually do is I'm going to go ahead and just, like, mono this out. So it's going to be only in the middle. Like, there's no significant difference. I'm also like, I'm 95% sure this was made in Ableton. So that was probably tracked in mono anyway. Like, if I look really closely here, you can, maybe not actually. Let's have a look. Hard to say whether or not, I doubt they tracked the guitar in stereo. That just basically makes no sense. I can tell it's a live guitar tracking because you can hear the chunk from the amp. Might be an amp sim. Regardless, I'm going to put it in mono, and I'm going to have that being a ton of reverb in the back of the mix. So, like, what I'm doing is I'm planning out the mix as I'm going. Especially because this is literally like the mirror of what the vocal is doing. I can just listen to those two. That's going to sound really nice when everything's controlled and tonally balanced and stuff. So the only thing left is really for the chorus is this sound, which I don't know what this is, but it sounds not great in there just yet. Okay, so that's weird. Yeah, to your point, Enigmatic Onion, right? The interesting thing about mixing versus production is, like, I have to deal with the stems that I've gotten, right? And I can't say, I can think to myself there's too much reverb, but I can't change that. So what I have to do is I have to figure out a way to actually make it work. So it's a little bit like fitting together pieces of a puzzle. So these effects are crazy. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how they're going to fit in. So, like, my job as a mixer and your job when you're mixing your own tracks and as the producer on your own records, is to understand what's like the most important emotional content and melodic content that you want to be conveyed. So like, this isn't the most important sound that's happening here, right? This is like an additional level. Yeah, I try not to use de-reverb plugins, William, just because like they just don't sound very good. I don't find that they sound good. I can use gates sometimes, but there are other ways to kind of get reverb out of the mix a little bit more, which I'll show you. So first things first here is like similar to that Soothe track. This is the track that I soothed. I already know some things I need to do this. Like this is really going to be distracting to the ear. Like the track sounds like there's space in it here. And when I turn this on, this is really confusing my ears. So what I have to do is I have to figure out what part of the sound is confusing. And the number one thing that is always going to confuse your ears in terms of direction is going to be low frequencies and high frequencies. So I'm going to go ahead and drag on this plugin that I really like from Acoustica called the Sand EQ. I'm going to use it in 0 latency mode so that I don't induce any latency in the project. And I'm just going to literally put on a high pass filter and a low pass filter. Now you might be asking, why don't I just do this on like FabFilter or the Logic EQ? This just sounds like it doesn't have a lot of color. Sounds very thin, very digital. So I'm going to already start the process of trying to build the tone by using an analog modeled EQ that will impart a little subtle amount of saturation. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just try to control it on its own, and then I'm going to put it back into the mix and see how it sounds. So also the high mids are like 3K. That's where the guitar is. That's where guitars live, like the overtones. So that's a problem because there are tons of guitars in the chorus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus in a little bit more. And now I can add a little bit of 5K in maybe. Maybe a little bit of 8. There's also a little bit of gook in the low mids. That's going to be a disaster for stereo imaging. Might even just use a shelf also. So now the result is this. So this is a little more controlled. So now when I turn it back on in the mix. Now I can already hear much more clearly those sounds in the middle. And the way to know whether or not a sound is loud enough is I feel it but don't hear it. Right? When I turn it off, I notice that it's gone. When I turn it on, I don't notice it. Cool. And exactly. And I can hear the tail fade into the verse. That also kind of tells me, oh, it's at a good volume. All right, so one thing I'm noticing is now I'm clipping again, right? So I'm getting everything balanced together. This is why I balance everything together. This is why I don't do any automation on the volume fader. I can just turn everything down a little bit. So I can go to the chorus. So those vocals are way too loud. Also, just to be clear, I have 0 volume targets when I'm mixing. I don't care where this volume is because it's going to be turned up in mastering. And I actually am the person that's going to be mastering this track anyway. So like it literally doesn't matter. I'm glad you enjoy the vocals, Victor. Yeah, her voice is dope. So I'm just going to make sure that I give myself as much headroom as possible because I like to mix loud. Right, I like to make things louder and more powerful and punchier and increase transient definition. So I want to give myself headroom to not have to keep turning it down. So I'll make sure that I'm keeping it like -6, maybe even less. I'm just making that up. I don't actually think about that. I just want to look here. I don't even look at the number. I don't care about the number. I'm just looking at the headroom and going, okay, that's enough headroom for me to mix into. That's enough for me to really start like playing with. So you should also produce like that. Okay, so Enigmatic Onion, you say, I get lost past 3K. I don't know what to do. It's guesswork and based on visual spectrums at that point. Okay. Well, let me try to break it down for you a little bit. The information above 3K is, let's put it this way, okay? There's nowhere on the frequency spectrum that isn't important for your mix, okay? But things above 3K are going to be where, let's just say, disasters occur, okay? Because that's going to be the part of the frequency range where your ears just like notice a lot of things. And the main thing I would say is that the crossover between high mid and just high, in terms of like something that's just like bright versus something that actually has discernible harmonic content that's going to contribute to melodies, is 5,000, specifically 5,120. So really the way to think about it is that your high mids go from about 2.5K to like 5K. But 5K and above, I just think of as high frequencies. And then within the high range, I think about from 5 to 10K, 5 to 9K really, is like the first order of higher level harmonics, and then 10K and above is like a totally separate feeling. So I mean, it's just practice, you know. But the thing is that not everything needs to be in those high frequencies, especially if it's rhythmic. Things just become disastrous. Now, to answer another question that someone asked, when you work on a mix for someone, do you have to keep everything, or can you convince it's better without? It's usually pretty hard to convince someone that their mix is better without something that they put in it, but you can be sneaky, and like if there are 4 double tracked guitars, right? So if there's 4 layers of one guitar, you know, you can like delete 2 of them and just not tell them. You know, your job is not to do what they asked you to do. The job is actually to make the music sound the best as possible. So they're leaving it up to me to say, oh, okay, well, you recorded 6 guitar takes to only have 1 guitar line. I'm just going to use 1, or I'm just going to use 2 because it sounds bad, right? So they're kind of leaving that up to my discretion. Yeah. So now this guitar is super harsh. Like, there are a lot of problems with this guitar. So I'm going to go ahead and first off drag on the Soothe. There's just so much crap happening in the high mids. Let's find the specific spot where it is. So maybe I'll just reduce a little with the Logic EQ. Super simple. I found it. So one of the best tricks for mixing electric guitar is if the guitar is too bright, to really reduce all the brightness, like a lot, to the point that it sounds dull, and then you just turn the whole thing back up so it sounds brighter again, but this time it's controlled. So I'm actually going to do that now with that same EQ. So one thing I also do when I'm mixing, especially for other people, is I choose one EQ and I use it across the whole mix. That way it kind of gives me kind of like a console sound. So I need to cut out some of that chunk from the low end. And I'll do that cut with the bass on. Because the thing is that you don't want to cut low frequency information from something that should have weight in it without the bass on. Because the bass is going to fill in the gap that is lost in that sound, and you want to make sure that the bass actually is convincingly filling that gap and you're not thinning it out too much. It's right about there. Yeah, I can get away with filtering, with going all the way up to, I don't know what that number is, but it sounds good. Now, again, it's super bright. I'm probably going to reduce low pass. That sounds a lot more tolerable. And now I'll probably shelf even from like 16K down. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Again, I think it's still way too loud in this area. Maybe at 800 I can get away with boosting a little bit. Because there's some nice harmonic details down there that make it wider too. And now what I can do is I can turn up the guitar a lot. So now listen to how much clearer everything is. Oh, now that sounds fucking sick, dude. Now this part, because I took away all the high frequency crap and high mid crap out of this guitar, now this guitar soars through. So again, there's a lot of gook in the low end of this. Like, I don't need any of this. Like, I don't really need any of that stuff. So I can probably filter out up to like 250. Oh, probably almost 250. So I'll go ahead and do that with, again, the other guitar and the bass in, because that's what it's working with. Again, still a little harsh and bright. I want to make sure that it cuts through the other guitar though. So what I will do is I'll do a little bell boost at 5,000. Actually 8K maybe. Less harsh. So this is one frequency that I'm hearing that's jumping out there that's just really harsh and going to make it unpleasant to listen to. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that fab filter first because I want the phase shift of the analog EQ after the fab filter. There's this one note that I'm hearing on the first notes of the guitar. Yeah. All right, I gotta find that. There it is. That sounds terrible. So that's actually fine. Okay, so you want to be really, really careful when you are removing resonant frequencies from highly resonant information, especially guitars. So what ends up happening is the more resonant frequencies you remove, the more resonant frequencies appear. That's why Soothe is the greatest plugin ever, because it does it for you in a really like musical way. So I'm going to go ahead and just load up Soothe. And I want to do this before the EQ boost that I'm doing here, because I want to get rid of that info before I, re-emphasize it. So it's at like 3K. Let's go like that. Cool. Cool. Perfect. So what's cool about the Soothe plugin is it shows you what you're removing. That's awful by any stretch, right? Oh, oops. What I actually think I'm going to do with that guitar is, since I monoed it out, I'm going to send that to a gigantic reverb. So I'll just call this stereo verb. And so even though I don't want to do too much nitty gritty, I just know that that's something that I'm going to want to do for that track. So I'm going to put on this big old lexicon reverb in stereo. Take my pre-delay, make it really long, so I want it to fade into there. No bass. A lot of depth. Yeah. That sounds cool. So one thing I like to do with something that has too much reverb on it, and this might seem super weird, is I just put more reverb on it. I just exaggerate it. I just lean into it. I make it go crazy. Anyways, let's go back over here.
It's just like Norman Bates with those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain.
So the best thing to do with mixing is choose a place to start really getting into the like the nitty gritty. And so I'm gonna do that on the drums. That's just always where I start my mix. I like to start my mix with the drums.
Blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relief.
Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to actually start on the vocal because it's so damn muddy.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake.
There's
I
like all
wanna
this-
see your face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates with those big blue eyes. Let them decide my fate.
There's a lot of
Escape the pain. Now
there's something called proximity effect happening on the microphone. I can just tell she's standing too close to the mic.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake.
That's like
I wanna
just
see your face.
telltale sign of
Time to
proximity
catch a
effect.
break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates with those big blue eyes. Let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the stress.
So first thing I'm gonna do is just like remove anything obvious that's a problem here.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates with those big blue eyes. Let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on. You're so mysterious, just like Norman.
So I did my best that I could do here of just like some basic reduction that's going to help the tonal balance. But what I'm going to do is, oh, you guessed it, Nefert, to add more reverb. That's really funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, throw on Soothe, right? Because there's a lot of imbalances in those low frequencies, those low mids, that I don't feel like having to automate. Like, it's just a waste of time. So, and I can also use it as a de-esser for the stuff that's happening up top.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate.
The thing you have to be careful with Soothe is that if you remove too much information, it starts to distort and sound really bad.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
Little honkiness in the 1K region there.
And I'm wide awake, walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. And I'm wide awake, I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake.
I'm gonna use the same EQ.
Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates.
Yeah, so now I can actually get more level out of the vocal because the low mids were disproportionately loud.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. And I'm wide awake, I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking and I'm wide awake, I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes.
So there's a little trick that I did here called... Well, it's not called anything. It's just a trick that is really useful for vocals, especially female vocals. So I did a high pass cut at 172 hertz. And what I was noticing is that the vocal was a little bit thin. It didn't have enough weight and power in the mix. Okay. So how do you combat that? A lot of different ways to do it. But one of the easiest ways that big tricks you can do is you just set a low shelf at 100 hertz and you boost a bunch. There isn't really that much information there because I've cut most of it out, but it's there. And the shelf is going to pick up information in this area, a little teeny bit. And so it just gives it this little subtle boost, and it just makes it solid, just really rock solid in the mix.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes.
So that's no
Out
EQ.
in 5, come on, let's.
That's with the EQ.
And I'm wide awake, I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate.
Yeah, so there's also just like a lot of sibilance in the vocal, which sucks. I hate that. We all hate that. So I'm actually not gonna use a de-esser. I'm just gonna use a multi-band compressor. One of the reasons I'm gonna do that is because I think there's also just a wandering harshness that occurs in the high mids. So I can kind of kill two birds with one stone here. Make my attack super fast, make my release very fast, very high ratio. So like aggressive reduction, hardening, so it never comes out. Turn up a little bit of look ahead. Range 6 is good, and let's go ahead and see if we can get this.
With those big blue eyes.
Yeah, so this is the part of the vocal that's annoying me and like too loud in my opinion.
I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes.
So I might actually separate the compression duties here. There's different issues that are happening in the high mids that I want to. On all of the downbeats, be out in 5, making no mistake. All that stuff is jumping out too fast, so I'm gonna try to reduce that more.
Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
So first part of the vocal needs to be louder.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so
I'm literally just gonna increase the
mysterious,
volume
just like Norman
of the track.
Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain. Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5.
I actually have to turn that up a little too. What's that, 11?
Big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5.
That's where it gets way too loud.
Walking out the door, making no mistake. Out the door, making no mistake.
Especially here, really. This is just an issue. It gets way too loud. So I'm gonna turn that down a little.
Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes.
Let's see.
Walking out the door, making no mistakes.
All right, so maybe we'll do it on no. Like right there.
Out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
All right, so that's a good soft mix on the vocal. I don't need to completely mix everything. This is just kind of preparing it for more mixing.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see
And I
your
don't feel like doing that
face,
for the
time to
second
catch a
verse right
break.
now.
You're so mysterious.
Maybe I
My
should.
mind is occupied. I need an alibi.
Yeah, I should probably just do it for the second verse while I'm at it. All right, so I'm just gonna pretty much copy what I did over there, and then if I need to change it, I can do it later. 11.6.
You put my mind at ease. Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. My mind is occupied. I need an alibi. When nights are pacify, you're so mysterious. The pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You put my mind at ease. Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. You're so mysterious. One night to pacify the pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You pull.
So again, it's just like something that should go without saying. Never copy settings ever between two things that are different. Even though it's the same vocal, clearly the comp, like they recorded it later, she sang it softer. So I have to treat it differently than the other one.
Put my mind at ease, take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, make space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that word up.
Through time and space, drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5.
Mistakes is really loud.
The door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on, let's ride.
So this whole section now is a little bit loud.
Out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on, let's ride.
Great question, Simple Sam. Why would I turn down the vocal in the actual gain as opposed to with automation? Well, the answer is that I want the compression to respond evenly, and the plugins are going to come after this gain. So I can just click on here and I can actually see right here how much gain I'm reducing. So that's or increasing or adjusting. So I have no issue with that. That makes sense to me. I don't want to automate the volume because it's just like, A, I don't want to dive into automation just yet. That's not where I'm at in the mix. But B, like I was saying, this volume is before these plugins. So I want these plugins to respond to this volume. Right? So I'm trying to make it so the compressor has to work as little as possible. Yeah. All right.
Is occupied, I need an alibi. One night to pacify the pain of lonely night. Now it's getting late, I need an alibi. One night to pacify the pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You put my mind at ease.
So this is like where things can get a little weird with vocal mixing. Like, that sounds different than the first verse. It's just like a pain in the ass, but it's just what you got to do. So basically, I'm going to have to actually EQ this vocal a little differently.
My mind is occupied, I need an alibi. One night to pacify the pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You put my mind at ease. Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain.
There's this weird resonance happening around.
Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas. One night to pacify the pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You put my mind at ease. Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain, walking out. My mind is occupied, I need an alibi. One night to pacify the pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You put my mind at ease. Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain, walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
Might also need less. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I need to target a different area here.
I need an alibi. One night to pacify the pain of lonely nights. Just one more hour, please. You put my mind at ease. Take me through time and space. Drive fast, all gas, no brakes. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on, let's ride.
Yeah, for those of you that like don't realize how incredible Logic is and are only using Ableton, this is cool probably for you to see. It's like, dude, Logic's amazing. Like, there's a reason that I use it. It sounds awesome. Ableton's great too, but for mixing, I'm sorry, like Logic is just so much better. I think you can do the mono tracks thing. That's really
It's
important.
time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With
All
those
right.
big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain.
So I can, like, live with that vocal
Stray,
now.
walking out the
It's
door.
not done. I haven't even done the actual mixing on it yet. Then I have to do some compression and stuff. This is just like sort of all like the early steps of the mix. I don't have to do anything final yet because I don't know what the rest of it's gonna sound like.
And I'm wide awake. I
go
wanna
to
see
drums
your
now.
face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do before that? I don't know why the fuck the bass is in stereo. It's just a mistake. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on the Isotope Imager. And I'm gonna mono everything out below like. Yeah, everything below 244. Opens so much space in the mix.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my
Maybe a little
fate.
less, 188.
Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making.
We could also have some fun with this if we want. We could take the high frequencies, make them really wide.
With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5.
Yeah, I mean, like the best thing, like they recorded all the vocals at the same time in this track. That much I'm pretty sure of. But it's just like I think they recorded it like at different times in the session, and it just sounded weird. Nefertiti, to your question. So like the best way to deal with vocals being different in the recording is just to treat them differently. Like don't put them all on the same track because they're gonna require different EQing. So like I think people don't realize that you can be as flexible as you want to be when you're mixing and producing. There's no rule anywhere that says all your vocals need to be on the same track. If the first part of the verse sounds different than the second part of the verse, put them on a different track. EQ and compress them differently. Make them try to sound continuous. And there are ways to do that, you know, by using like, like, you know, sends and returns and reverbs and delays and things like that. But yeah, when vocals sound different, just do what you need to do to get them to sound the same. Doesn't matter what that is. Like, you know, for me, right, I just put verse 1 and verse 2 on different tracks. And I'm assuming that I'm going to have to put whatever the fuck that is on its own track at the end.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face. Time
So
to
too
catch
much
a
high
break.
mids.
You're so mysterious, just
many high
like
mids on
Norman
the bass.
Bates. With those big blue eyes.
I don't need that. Nine decibels I'm reducing. And listen to how much space that opens up for the other sounds. How the drums come to the front of the mix.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With
All right, so there's a huge issue going on with the bass. It's just way too dynamic, like way too dynamic on the low end. So I'm gonna put on a multi-band compressor on the lows. It's clearly a phaser or a flanger on there or something, which I think is cool, but like it's a problem. I'm gonna set my attack really fast. There isn't any transient information down there, so it doesn't matter if I set a fast attack. I'm gonna set my release really long. My knee really hard. Ratio high. I want this to stop moving. What I'm actually going to do is, because it's too dynamic, I'm going to set it, the threshold, to the lowest point instead of the highest point.
Now it's getting late and I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face, time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's
I took away.
ride. Occupied, I need an alibi when nights are past.
So I'm just turning down the guitar thing a little bit more at 3K. So we're already sounding much cleaner and more alive, right? Just from cleaning up that bass now. So maybe let's make that snare a little bit less wimpy. Very thin. So the first thing I'm going to do actually is put on the Slate Digital Virtual Mix Rack. And I'm going to put on the virtual channel and set it to Neve, which makes it heavier, and drive the shit out of it. Makes it a little bit less forward and annoying.
With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain, walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride. It's just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain, walking out the door, making no mistakes.
So I'm going to make a little boost there on that SSL EQ.
Let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain, walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5, come on, let's ride.
Yeah, so that gives it a lot more weight now.
Making no mistakes.
I can do that same trick I did on the vocal with the snare, where I just do a low shelf and 100.
With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain, walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5.
So now the track's sounding much bigger because this wide element has more weight to drop the top. where's that weird hi-hat coming from? Ah, it's like a weird, annoying hi-hat, little trap hat. That's just too bright. That doesn't need to be. Oh, yes, this is annoying. A little bit 800 could help. So like this is a spot where I would probably use a dynamic EQ and go to FabFilter and put the band into dynamic mode. This whole area, that annoying little like hi-hat thing that's too bright, I'm just gonna set a dynamic EQ to just turn it down. There we go. Literally only catching the hi-hat. That's good, at least there's separation in that sample. But maybe now I could... Nah, it still sounds bad. Where's that happening at? 6,000. Ah, well that's, I shouldn't be doing crazy boosts then there.
Occupied.
So if I solo the drums in that part, let's listen to what we got. All right, I definitely need some saturation on that sound. It's just weak sounding. Very thin, no harmonics. So I'll go ahead. And by the way, I should mention, I do a lot of this with analog stuff, but since we're on the stream, I'm just going to do it this way because you can't hear me do the analog. So I think a good one for this would be London. Yeah. Give it a little bit of bite. Turn the mix down. Let's try to also do New York. Yeah. Let's like lean into it harder. And now put on the virtual mix rack. There we go, we can hear it way better now. What I'm probably going to end up having to do is ask them to send me these drums separated. No, so it's not a sketch. Oh no, I have the whole song here, but what I mean by a sketch is like I'm getting everything set to then go through the analog stuff. So some of the more finalizing things I'm going to do is to push it through the analog, but it makes no sense to put really crappy sounding stems through all my gear until they already sound good, and then I can make them really sound nice. I'm trying to get rid of the... There we go. Now, like this sound, this sample is going to be one of the main things that benefits from like the analog processing. I'm going to be able to make it way crunchier and have more weight and dimension. It just sounds very thin. Also, the bass will sound really good when I put it through here. It's just a little thin, little weak sauce.
Of them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistake.
I could probably use a little Pultec style EQ on the kick real quick to... Actually, you know what? I might just use this thing. It's faster. From Slade.
And I'm wide awake. I wanna see your face. Time to catch a break. You're so mysterious, just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on, let's ride. Let them decide my fate. Escape the pain, relieve the strain. Walking out the door, making no mistakes. Be out in 5. Come on, let's ride. With
I don't know if I love either of those, to be honest.
It's just like Norman Bates. With those big blue eyes, let them decide my fate. Escape.
Yeah, I actually don't like how that sounds. So, you know, that's also good. It's like you don't always just want to commit to what you think you have to do. Sometimes it's good to just do something different. Let me see. What do we got here? I might have to just do that. I might do that out with the outboard gear, to be honest. Anyway, I'm actually running over a little bit now, and I unfortunately do have to go. So thank you for everyone that tuned in today. I hope that you learned a little bit about what it actually looks like to plan a mix out and how to start approaching mixing things. And I hope that it's something that you feel like you learned some tricks that you can take into your own productions. So thank you for everyone that tuned in today, and for those of you that stuck around. And please tune in next week. I will be here again doing more music production things that I think will be helpful for you. Again, this has been 343 TV with me, Justin Beck. This is an extension of the 343 Labs Music Production School based in New York City and Berlin and online. If you think you're ready to take your music production skills to the next level, go ahead and go to our website, 343labs.com, and sign up for some classes. And please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of great content coming at you on a regular basis. All right, well, I'm going to jump now. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
room.